Hello, my name's Tom Stoukas, coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario. On what day is it today? January 28th. Days are just flying by. I hope everybody's having a nice night. And just when you think things couldn't get worse in Canada, they did. They get worse. The big story, I heard this before from Doug Ford, but a story in the Globe and Mail is that our government is preparing a multi-billion dollar COVID-style bailout for people and businesses as a result of the tariffs if they're imposed on Canada by the U.S. So basically, a CERB Part 2. Give everybody free money and let them sit at home. That's the solution. And Doug Ford said, too, he wants a mandate to spend billions and billions of dollars to protect Ontario from Donald Trump. Pandemic level relief for workers hit by tariffs. That's what the plan is. Oh, my God. What the hell? I thought these guys were quitting. Instead, they're doing a $1 billion bailout for something that hasn't even happened yet. Instead of maybe fixing the border and negotiate a little bit. Oh, it basically sounds like UBI here in disguise. They tried to do it with the COVID and it didn't stick. And now they're going to make people totally lazy. Say, hey, have you been affected by Donald Trump? Here's some money. And how many people are going to line up for the money? Lots. Billions. And it's isn't that how the whole inflation thing started? Was printing all this money and then giving it to people? Because let's look at the news here actually. Once you give people money and they got a lot of money, I do the same. I'm not no better, but they start spending money and then prices go up, and that's how you have inflation. Pandemic level relief for workers hit by tariffs. Holy shit. What's that even mean? But it's not just Ottawa, it's Doug Ford. And that's what he's running on basically. How much money can we give? And I'm sure the NDP and the Liberals will be saying the same thing in the provincial election. It's crazy. Plans pandemic level relief. So this is the government that's supposed to be resigning, but apparently they ain't going. They're like that. Trudeau's like this. The guy at a party that you're like, when's this guy gonna leave? And he just keeps lingering on. Now, instead of leaving, he's going to start DJing. I was like, I thought, how the hell, didn't they just announce $60 billion deficit? And now they're going to do a COVID part 2 and a giveaway, maybe even worse than the original COVID. Because you give people money. I did get money from my business, but that went straight to just paying the rent and all the expenses. But individual workers, they're like, no, I don't want to go back to work. It's true. But it's basically UBI, it sounds like. It's like, why bother working? It's going to be crazy, too, with this AI and robots and the state of Canada. We're such a bad state right now. Oh, my God. It just gets worse by the day, too, just when you think it can't get worse. We got a government in disarray at the federal level. Disarray. They're fighting over the leader's chair. And it's barely even a stable chair because they're behind in the polls. So we have a government in disarray. Then we have a provincial government that's running an election instead of, running the province. and they're basically antagonizing the most powerful guy in the world to score political points, or so they think. Like Doug Ford's running against Trump. Like he said that today. I have the video. We'll look at the video. To protect Ontario from Trump. God help us if Doug Ford is. God help us if Doug Ford is our protection from Donald Trump. We might as well just. Oh God. Of course we're gonna. A smart person will protect themselves and not rely on Doug Ford. Oh my God! Look at this devil. And he's gonna like promise all these billions, like pandemic style money, just like the feds are gonna do. Well, first of all, where's the money coming from? And second, I wonder who's gonna pocket a lot of these. Like, yeah, some of the ordinary peasants got their CERB money, and some people had to give it back. But let's say, okay, some of the peasantry got some money. But I bet you a lot of the big contracts and a lot of the big slush funds were shoveled out during that time to some well-connected people. And that's the same thing will happen this time. It's crazy. No wonder Donald Trump thinks we're dummies. I don't think we're dummies, but the people running the place are just running it for themselves because this is ridiculous. So yeah. And then we have the big foreign interference report, which is basically, I mean, it doesn't look like much work went into it. Like they said, oh, no traitors. Maybe some dumb MPs who should have known better, but no traitors. And the media is like, oh my gosh, it's a good thing there was no traitors. It doesn't appear there to be any traitors. Anyway, there she is right there. No evidence of traitor. No evidence of traitors. All right. I have a feeling this chick didn't get to the bottom of things. Trolling this. Unwitting participants, yes. No traitors, though. Well, that's good to know. No traitors. No evidence of traitors. There still might be traitors. I think there's probably a few traitors. All right. I have a feeling Donald Trump knows more about this than we do. I think there's more to this story than meets the eye, and there are probably other stories that have been suppressed, like that Winnipeg lab, whatever, shenanigans, and other sort of Chinese police stations. Anyway, what the hell, man? So, no evidence of traitors. Foreign Interference Commission. That must have been great reading. Oh no. I got a clip of him. Okay. Let's go to the bookmarks. Let's just go from the top. Alright. That's enough of that. Alright. See, I think I watched this clip from the leader of the Bloc Québécois. It's a good clip, actually. Let's watch it. He wants the government to resign. Meanwhile, the government's spending all this money and fighting Donald Trump. Let's see. What the hell?
Talk today of the government
Okay, here we go.
presenting a There's talk today of the government presenting a bailout package for people affected by tariffs, by American tariffs. Would you support the government in the House of Commons if they were to present such a thing?
I see no way I would support any astuce of the government.
He's trying not to laugh.
I believe that the intention would be to create a context in which the government would get 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they remain there longer than supposed. True.
They just want to stay. They don't want to leave.
Of parliamentary work. If the Liberals want things to become clear and want to help people, they should simply start the election sooner. Mm-hmm. Nothing prevents Mr. Carney or Mrs. Freeland, once this person is selected as the leader of the Liberals, to say on March 10th that we are going into election. We have improved the situation by 2 weeks, but I'm not getting into any tricks.
He's funny. I like. So they're asking about the bailouts that we were talking about. And he's just trying not to laugh. He's like, I thought these guys were leaving. Like, they resigned and there's supposed to be an election. We're not supporting them. And he's like, why? Well, like the guy in back there's laughing. All right, but now Jagmeet Singh is the guy. He won't support the Liberals for this multi-billion-dollar bailout, but that's right up Jagmeet Singh's. That's right up his alley. Like, that's music to his ears. Billions? All right. So, instead of this government falling, which should have happened, which would have been funny, they've managed to just keep dragging it on. Now let's see what Jagmeet said today. He walks back his worst nightmare for Canada. Jagmeet Singh walks back his call for an election. Jagmeet Singh walks back his call for an election. This is going to be a long summer, Canada. All right, let's see what he says.
Sometimes I lay awake at night saying, if that
Oh, God.
if Trump follows through on his plan with tariffs, would you keep the Liberals?
Trump. Who the hell are these guys? That's probably Trump. I'm sure Trump's got some nickname. Oh, my God. All right. Let's see what Jagmeet has to say about the situation. It's very fluid. Very fluid situation in Canada, in Ontario and in Canada.
If Trump follows through on his plan with tariffs, would you keep the Liberals in power and allow for the passage of a work relief program before supporting a non-confidence motion?
So that's what they're calling it, a work relief program. Holy shit. How bad is this going to be? Sounds like depression work relief program. All right.
I'll just start off by the fact that I've spoken with a lot of workers who are deeply worried about what the Trump tariffs might mean. They say, sometimes I lay awake at night saying, if that tariff goes through, do I lose my job? And what's going to happen to my kids? What's going to happen to my family? And when we think about the analysis that's out there, if those Trump tariffs come in place, there are hundreds and thousands of Canadian jobs at risk. Think about what that means for those workers, hundreds of thousands of workers, for their families, for those communities. This could be devastating for our country. So we do need to have a plan in place to support those that are impacted, those businesses, those workers, most importantly. I have not had any conversations with other opposition leaders. I think we need to come together and have a discussion about what is the best way forward. I've not had any discussions with the government related to this. If there is any desire to move forward, the government should call us together, like we did during COVID, and discuss a plan that supports workers. We, as a party of working people, a party founded by workers, want to make sure that there's a plan in place for workers. Right. It's why we said from the beginning.
So he said the thing too, COVID, and the news is saying COVID style, pandemic style relief, and then now he's saying the same thing. COVID now instead of pandemic. He's saying COVID. So, you know, you see this message. It's UBI. It's crazy. They want to put it in one way or another, and you got who else? Who better than to put it in is Mark Carney, a central banker. Let's print all that money. It's digital currency, all that stuff. Gotta watch these guys. Sneaky bastards.
EI is clearly not up to the task. During the
EI.
pandemic, we realized EI does not cover the majority of Canadian workers. We called for changes to happen to EI so that we would be better prepared if something happens again that disrupts our economy. The Liberals did not listen. And so we are now in this position where we have an insufficient EI, a threat of tariffs, and many workers lying awake at night saying, am I going to lose my job or not? So I hope that there's a plan moving forward.
Do you think you will push?
So right there, he's saying he's open to working with the government, and if he can sell to his supporters that he scored billions for them and this and that, he'll do it, and he'll probably get some slush benefits out of it too. Okay. A lot of people predicted this too, like that Jagmeet would, once Trudeau stepped down, he would kind of back off his call to vote against the government. So I guess they're really playing up this Trump thing. Doug Ford too, and the federal and the Liberals. They're right on the same page, making Trump the main campaign issue, which is crazy. It's just gonna piss him off more. Literally. All right. Let's read this. This is the government interference. Came out today. Nobody really cared about it. I think everybody expected it to be like. I don't think this woman had the special, like I don't think she's like a special prosecutor like in the States where they can get like subpoenas and everything. But I wanted let's listen to the government.exe is corrupt guy. After a thorough investigation, government has concluded there was no foreign interference in the last two elections, found no evidence of traitors in Parliament. 18 months of work to tell us what we already knew they'd tell us 18 months ago. Amazing. Okay. That seems like that's basically the feeling I think today with this report. People weren't expecting much from it. Let's see what she has to say.
Although a few situations,
Let's see what she has to say. Sorry.
the Commission conducted a thorough and rigorous examination of how foreign interference manifests itself in Canada's electoral processes and democratic institutions. At the outset of our work, I pledged that the Commission will carry out its mandate independently, impartially, fairly, and transparently. I will also add with rigor, proportionality, and speed. I believe it has done just that. And it is one of my most important observations. Our democratic institutions have remained robust in the face of attempted foreign interference. Although there are a very small number of situations where foreign interference may have had some impact on the outcome of a nomination contest or the result of an election in a given riding, foreign interference did not impact the outcome of the last two general elections. Although a few situations involving attempts to curry favor or develop problematic relationship with a parliamentarian have come to light, such phenomena remain marginal and so far appear to have been largely ineffective. Nor have I seen any evidence to suggest that there are currently so-called traitors in Parliament. While I saw evidence of some concerning behavior, the evidence does not show any MPs plotting with foreign states against Canada's interest.
Caroline Liebet, the
So yeah. No, nothing to see here. I have a feeling there's more to the story, but I mean, there's foreign interference. I guess they can't. Just different kind, I guess. All right. And then we got, for the Liberal, so that's Jagmeet. And then we got the Ruby's in the Liberal leadership race. Not much going on there today. Can't believe we have to wait over a month still for this. I don't know what this poll, Angus Reid polling, January 27th, 2025. So yesterday. I didn't see this anywhere, but whatever. If Ruby has it out, it must be legit. So they have a poll, 43-29 for Carney Polyev, 44-24 Polyev Freeland. So she's basically saying Canadians don't want Trudeau 2.0. They're going to be conservatives. We need real change. All right. 13 points for Carney versus 20. Yeah, 20 for Freeland. 13's not bad. When you start an election, I've seen people down that much. And it's like a horse race. It narrows the gap, narrows near the finish line. 20's a lot. And she's got the, I don't know. So, I wonder, why isn't there a poll with Ruby against Pear? We need to see that poll. If she did crazy thing win the Liberal thing, she'd be just a placeholder. I don't see her winning a general election, but she, you never know. I don't know. Need real change. And I like this post today. Justin Trudeau has ruined Canada so badly that Quebec is gearing up to separate again. Trump wants to annex us and our GDP is in the toilet. Canadians are sleeping in the streets, in cars, campers, and friends' basements. Canadians aren't having kids anymore. Companies are leaving Canada. Holy shit. And people are fleeing to anywhere else they can because this megalomaniac moron has put his own selfish, greedy, narcissistic needs above those of 41 million people. That's a cool picture. I like that. Yeah, he did a number on it. And he's still around. He's still doing like he was in Poland, acting like he's a prime minister. I mean, he technically is a prime minister, but everybody knows he's like a caretaker. Like it's literally a caretaker position right at this moment. He's just there because someone needs to be in the chair. But he shouldn't be out. He's out and about doing like international events, and now he's doing this multi-billion-dollar pandemic-style bailout. Like, it's kind of not right at all. It takes a lot of nerve, and he's getting away with it. Okay, next tab. All right, some good posts. So Canadian dollar is at historic lows. Our government owes $3.7 trillion. Bank of Canada's. We're talking about a massive bailout packages again. On F and real. This country is in so much trouble. Like, serious. That's our best solution, is bailout. No innovation, no closing the border, no deporting millions of people, no investing in the resource sector of this country. Nope, just bailout. Okay. And then this one. And there it is. Liberals planning COVID level spending. See, this is the COVID level. It's the message they're trying to get out. Like, big money. Now Pierre's got to, like, decide how he's going to respond. Pierre Poilievre is going to... Am I going to... How do you... Like, they're trying to trap him. How to oppose more money for people. Well, Pierre doesn't want to help people. So, I'm sure he'll go along with it. Here's a scenario. Carney wins, secures backroom deal with Singh, which looking likely. Massive record-setting deficit on COVID-level spending to bribe Canadians to vote for them. Election deferred. Canadian dollar gets slammed. Canadian bonds downgraded. Economy worsens. Stagflation. Welcome to Carney's Canada. Central banker, man. This is another one. Is it getting more clear to everyone that the megalomaniacs in the charge of our country want Trump to impose the tariffs? It seems like they do. You know, that's a pretty good point. The rhetoric of Canadian politicians is irresponsible, I think. Like Trump, just because Trump talks, I mean, he's got the biggest military in the world, so at least, you know, if you're going to talk like that, you can back it up a little. We can't, unfortunately. So why are they getting all like... So the rhetoric backs this theory up. The behavior of our politicians, both provincial and federal. Ottawa planning pandemic... There it is, pandemic level relief for workers, businesses if Trump... Like, how is that going to work? What businesses are going to get that? What people like? This is crazy. Not a word from Pierre on this. I'm gonna have to listen. Well, Melissa Landsman did say UBI, we can own this. So it's crazy. Like if I were Pierre, he should be out saying this is the most irresponsible talk ever. It shouldn't even be considered because, anyway, he should be very clear. Instead, he hasn't. I don't think he's said anything on this. But how can he? Doug Ford's doing the same thing. Doug Ford's a conservative. You notice he doesn't do much stuff with Doug Ford. It's weird. It's weird. Bunch of cowards. That's the big story today, though. What the hell? Pandemic level relief for workers. What the hell? Where are they going to find all this money? Last time I checked, we don't have no gold. Ottawa planning pandemic level relief for workers. Okay, it's the same thing. So instead of going away, they're going They're going to make UBI. That's the solution. All right. Next one. Another post by Ruby. Tariffs are coming. Trump understands power and how to make a deal. Just look at Colombia. Trump is a businessman. I'm a businesswoman. We need someone who has run a successful business and knows how to negotiate a good deal for Canadians and our country. Trump will not listen to Trudeau's team or anyone from the old establishment. We need change, real change. She's right about that. He despises that team. He despises Trudeau, Freeland, anybody that's associated with that. So she's right about that. What day is it today? February 1st is coming up. When is it? February 1st. D-Day. One thing for Trump makes things more interesting. The Canadian news is more interesting now. February 1st is on Saturday. This Saturday. All right, the sky will be falling. So Ruby says she's the one to negotiate. There she is again. She will deport 500,000 illegal immigrants that are in Canada right now if she's prime minister. All right. I like the jacket. She's nice. Let's listen to it.
Acceptable. As there are over 500,000 illegal immigrants in Canada. This is unacceptable. As the daughter of immigrant parents, I know firsthand that immigrants have helped build our great country. But we must clamp down on human trafficking and those that are here illegally. As your Prime Minister, I promise you, I will deport every illegal immigrant in Canada. Canada's comeback starts now.
First day in the USA.
Canada's comeback. I like that. So, illegal immigrants. Lots of legal immigrants, though. Millions of them. That's a problem, too, but she's not going to touch that, probably. All right. Down the list. Okay. Here, this is what we were talking about with Trudeau. Like, he's like this guy at a party who doesn't want to leave. And it's like, hey, buddy, time to go. And look at him. The Canadian economy is collapsing. Parliament is prorogued. And we're on the brink of economic war with the U.S. While Trudeau is showing off to the cameras in Poland after telling the world he intends to resign. What a narcissistic POS. He is. Why is he signing it? He shouldn't even be signing no deals. Why is he shouldn't even be signing nothing. All right. So that's all we have for Trudeau today. He's in Poland, hiding out. All right. I think this is the latest poll today for the Ontario elections. Now we're talking Ontario elections. Wow, 50% for. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to make of that. I guess people like Doug Ford, 51%. Oh my gosh. But, you know, a lot of that's just like they can't stand Liberals or NDP. They have bad memories of that, so there really is no choice in Ontario. They're all the same. Eventually, the people get sick of the red, the blue, but it's really not a difference. So, of course, he's going to promise billions of dollars to people. Okay, here's I think today. Yeah, he was at some native funding announcement. Ford sure talks like a fear-mongering liberal, doesn't he? And I would like to ask him, what exactly did he protect during COVID? He shut down all small businesses, which financially destroyed tens of thousands. Talk like this isn't helping anyone. Yeah, he was the worst during COVID. He acts like he saved us. He didn't save shit. He made things worse. He was all panicking, crying like a little baby. Now he's going to do it all over again with Donald Trump. Oh, man. I kind of want Donald Trump to spank this guy. If you're listening, Donald, give this guy a spank because he's screwing up Ontario. Let's see what this...
History of the country, getting economically attacked.
All right.
Well, what I'll tell the people.
So this is basically what we're going to hear for the election campaign. This is his strategy right here. Let's hear.
Ontario.
Hold on, let's start.
Well, what I'll tell the people of Ontario, we're going to see an unprecedented attack to our families, to our businesses, to our communities, something that we've never seen in the history of the country, getting economically attacked by the largest country in the world, the most powerful person in the world when it comes to President Trump. And we're going to be there for him. We're going to support the people. We're going to protect the people, protect their jobs, protect communities, protect businesses, just like we did during the pandemic. But this is going to be more of an impact.
Oh, God. We're screwed. And, you notice he's saying the exact same thing as the Globe and Mail report on what the federal government's going to do. It's going to do the same thing. Like, doesn't people find that a little odd? How these guys are lockstep in their plans, just like they were with COVID. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Doug Ford.
The pandemic was natural around the world. This is a man targeting to attack and take every business out of Ontario, out of Canada, and try to bring it to the United States. And I'll do whatever it takes to protect the people of Ontario.
You treating my...
Well, what I'll tell the people...
All right, that's going to be the campaign strategy right there, is just basically blame everything on Donald Trump. Crazy. I guess we're going to watch it. Watch it all play out. I don't know how it's going to play out. It's going to be interesting. All right. Premier Doug Ford. Protect Ontario. Premier Doug Ford unveils the PC Party campaign slogan, Protect Ontario, as he asks Lieutenant Governor to dissolve the Ontario legislature. Ford is set to begin his campaign in Windsor. Oh, God. Look at this guy.
Ontario.
Oh, God. We're screwed. Just when you think. Just when you think you can't get more screwed. You're more wake up the next day and you read headlines like this. All right. Look at him waddling.
Everyone in Windsor, we're going to protect Ontario.
Oh, yeah. I feel so reassured.
See everyone in Windsor, we're going to protect Ontario.
Oh, God. I feel so reassured. Just when you think it can't get any worse, they're gonna Let's spend pandemic style level money again. I saw this today. Liaison Strategies Ontario poll modeled out. PC 62 seats, Liberal 41, NDP 18, Green 2. So it's a minority government. I don't know if this is right, but hopefully if they do get a minority, then they get rid of Doug Ford at least. He's probably won't help the Liberals. See, now it's like 39-33. I don't know if this poll's bullshit or not. I don't think it is. I think it's a bullshit poll. And here is Bonnie Crombie, probably the Ford's main rival. Hopefully she'll be more effective than what's his name? Del Duca? David Del Duca or something? He was a zero. He didn't do jack for the Liberals. Okay, let's see what she has to say.
When he really needs to be focused.
Let's see what she says.
We aren't scheduled to go to the polls until June of 2026. So this is an unnecessary election. It's going to cost voters $175 million. And I believe it's rather reckless behavior on the part of the Premier when he really needs to be focused on preparing us for the issues at hand, the tariff threat that the incoming President Donald Trump is posing.
These people are spending our money.
All right. So basically, she's saying that Doug Ford has strong support as election call looms, survey suggests. Why? I have no idea why. Well, I guess sending out $200 checks to everybody helps. I don't know if I'd be able to read this. Abacus data poll for the Star found Ford's Tories as 47%, far ahead of Bonnie Crombie's Liberals at 24%, and Merritt Stiles' New Democrats at 19%. Greens are at 7%. So basically, he's taking advantage of his lead. Yeah. Between the NDP and the Liberals, it's a split vote. It's going to be hard to get rid of them. Doesn't matter anyway. We're screwed anyway. Mark Carney viewed more positively than Chrystia Freeland in the Liberal leadership race, survey suggests. Haven't heard much from him. Let's see what the numbers say there. It might not let me read it. Damn it. All right. Let's see if I read it. No. I don't want to read it anyway. Anyway. This is interesting. Former Liberal MP Dan McTeague takes down Mark Carney. The fact that his man is supported by Butts and Telfer should raise alarms. This man, I guess. Details how this is the most manufactured Prime Minister plant in the history of Canada. So, Dan McTeague, not a fan of Mark Carney. McTeague's he's a funny guy. He does all the gas. He does a lot of stuff on gas prices. I heard he went off on Carney today. Let's see what he says.
Authoritarianism on a level that Canadians are unfamiliar with, and if democracy doesn't matter with them, as it appears.
He's talking about Mark Carney.
We know Trudeau was a bit of a goof. Never really had. All he had was the last name. But he's done some really dumb things. Mark Carney.
Goof. He's not sparing anything. It's hilarious.
It's very unapologetic. The very fact that he has Gerald Butts and Katie Telford and the same group of liberals behind Justin Trudeau behind him, that should be an alarm, as well as his wife. And I don't like to bring in, our backgrounds, but his wife is part of the Eurasia group, part of the most militant of climate, catastrophists out there. Diane Fox, I should say, Carney. There's no doubt in my mind these people are committed to their green agenda, which it does not include human beings in terms of their ability to make ends meet unless they're prepared to accept a significant decline in their standard of living according to what they think. This is another form of authoritarianism on a level that Canadians are unfamiliar with. And if democracy doesn't matter with them, as it appears to be the case in the Liberal Party today, we have a parliament that hasn't functioned since September. By order of the Speaker, the Liberals have refused to divulge information about their green slush fund. That's money that you and I, our children, our grandchildren will have to pay for years to come, that have been divested to make these green grifters very, very rich.
So Dan
McTeague, he's a former Liberal MP, so he's not a conservative, he's liberal. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Well, Mark Miller. Mark Carney is someone you can trust. He's solid. He's got my vote. There's a lot of cabinet ministers going over to Carney. A couple for Freedom, but not many. But yeah, all Trudeau's supporters going to Carney. I wonder why. I honestly believe Freeland is just like a runner-up. She's just doing her party duty. She's got so many probably international gigs lined up, it's not even funny. So she's just going to give Carney a little run just to make him look tough. Because unless I'm totally wrong and she wants to outfox the ultra-globalist Mark Carney, I don't think that's the case. I think the outcomes are already determined. They don't like surprises. So this is him at thrilled to have Mark Miller on the team. So much that I put him working this morning, helping out our volunteers and checking out sports. All right. So they're into the fake videos.
Le grand Marc.
Salut Gabriel, c'est Marc Miller, ça va bien?
Bonjour, c'est Marc. Et je suis ici avec une autre Marc. Le grand Marc.
Salut Gabriel, c'est Marc Miller, ça va bien?
Kevin, hi, it's Mark Carney calling with
Mark Miller. Hi, Kevin.
I mean, Jay, that's great. That's really great. It means the world to me and the team. Okay, okay. Au revoir. Bye-bye.
How's your rent? He's a man of the people. We're screwed. They're totally going to pull some... There we go. What? Sorry. Tariff stimulus package coming for Canada. What the hell, man? For Canadians. Anyway. We're oh my god. PV Mart to close too. I have a PV Mart here in Sarnia. Free money for everyone, though, even the PV Mart employees. Sorry, I lost my line. There we go. Oh. Unprecedented challenges, including record low consumer confidence, inflationary pressures, rising operating costs, and ongoing supply chain disruptions. It just sounds horrible, really. All right, it's a good story. I liked it. All right, so that's pretty fake. Sitting there around there calling people. Chrystia Freeland, empty. Nothing much from her today. Nothing much from Pierre. You're taking the day off. Danielle. I heard from her. I think she's the only one who's making sense here. Like, she's smart. Doesn't want to be part of this clown show called the Team Canada B Squad, I call them. So, she still doesn't want to use the oil as a trade weapon. But she's the only one who's making sense. She's not talking about nothing, no bailouts, nothing. She's trying to solve the problem. So I give her a little credit. Let's see what she says here. Oh, what's going on here?
Security and border security.
Here we go.
And look, I've asked the federal government on I don't even know how many occasions over the last number of years about those extra markets and building capacity to them. But even putting that aside for a moment, we're in the moment we're in. I've also asked ministers in the past week if they would do the same thing that people are threatening over oil with auto exports, which would have a equally proportionate impact on Ontario. And they said yes. Like they're not making it a national unity crisis, aren't you?
I don't think that will happen, first of all. And second of all...
But they're not taking it off the table. That's the point, right? Maybe logistically, like you say, both are not really great options.
She doesn't want to be part of this clown show.
But they're not saying, no, I would never do that.
She's staying away from it.
Well, I think the problem that we saw is that we were getting together as a group of premiers and the Prime Minister saying, let's not negotiate this in public. And I did my part saying, let's focus on the things that we know the Americans care about, national security and border security. And everybody else went off freelancing. And the thing they kept returning to was punishing Alberta and punishing energy. So I just wanted to make sure that we get back to talking about the things that unite us rather than divide us. And so Albertans are just simply not going to accept an export tax on this product. They're not going to accept the federal government blocking the export of this vital product. And I don't think that demonstrates to the Americans that we are a reliable trading partner, which is what we are trying to do. Let's find new markets. 100% on board with that. Now that we've got Trans Mountain, we have the ability to not only increase the amount that goes through that pipe, but also find new markets with it. Right now, most of it is going to the United States on the West Coast. Maybe we should start signing deals with India, with Spain, and with other jurisdictions. So I think that that's a far more constructive way for us to talk about how we can work together as a country. Same with all of our critical minerals. I mean, Saskatchewan provides 20% of the world's supply of uranium. You've heard David Eby talk about germanium being one of the key products that they have up in Northwest Territories. They have an immense opportunity on lithium. Those can go anywhere. Those can go on a rail car, those can go on a ship, and those can go anywhere around the world. And everybody wants them. So why don't we talk about ways we can support each other on finding those new markets? I think it's a far more a constructive way of approaching it.
So yeah, she's the only one who's really making much sense. Like, very level-headed response. And this is another thing. She's on CBC too. She basically did the rounds today.
Could be undermining the ability of the country to deal with the U.S. in this. If you can't say every sector of the Canadian economy...
She's got to defend herself. They're calling her traitor and all sorts of bad names.
...can be weaponized against the U.S. If you can't say every sector of the Canadian economy can be weaponized against the U.S. Are you worried that in sticking up for your province, you could be undermining the ability of the country to deal with the U.S. in this?
I think Eastern Canada has to be very, very careful what they wish for, because as I said, they get almost all of their energy from the United States, and they've got a pretty big stick. I certainly don't think that I wouldn't want to see Ontario or Quebec or the Irving refinery cut off from American oil or imports. So that's why I'm saying you just don't threaten things that you're not prepared to do, or where the retaliation measure might leave you worse off. It's one thing to talk about an import tax on orange juice, and maybe we'll all end up paying a little bit more for orange juice. That's a Team Canada approach, but you shouldn't put things on the table that that would be harmful to the country as a whole. So let's try to find the things that we can all live with, and then see if we have to act on them. But I think we have to have a bit of a reality check about just how dependent Eastern Canada is on U.S. energy imports, and why it's a flawed strategy to try to talk about retaliating there.
Yeah, she sounds like she's getting a little tired of the rhetoric coming from her counterparts. Like, she seems very frustrated. Like, she's basically calling them out, saying you guys are making threats you can't back up. We're talking about Trump. You know, he's a blowhard. He's whatever. Is what it is. But at least he can back it up. He's got the muscle behind him. So criticize him all you want, but he's not making empty threats. Whereas our leaders sound like dummies. And that's the look of a person who's sick of dealing with these dummies. She's sick of it. I could just imagine what they're saying in Alberta. It's like, why are we part of this? Anyway, so that's the big story today. The pandemic-style bailout is coming. And it's not only the federal government, it's Doug Ford's pushing it. Anyway. And that's it. That's it. I don't know what to say. And a lot of people are feeling like that. Can't stand it that Canadian politicians are actually making me hate our country. They have only made life worse for us. Anyone who thinks otherwise is suffering from cognitive dissonance. This nightmare has gone on for far too long. It has. It's crazy. But I feel bad we're just sitting here talking about it. Can't do anything. I mean, things will figure out. We'll figure shit out. Eventually, I think. Things got to get all messed up before they can get better. And that's it. And there's never Team Canada's intention to stop Donald Trump's tariffs. This is why they only responded with threats. Their goal was always to manufacture a crisis, then grant themselves emergency powers, offer assistance with more socialism. This is how Team WEF operates. I believe it. It's starting to look like it. Anyway, until next time. Next time will be Friday. Till Friday, we'll see what happens. You guys have a nice night.